Greetings. Today we're going to talk about double binds, also known as catch-22s, that can be very hindering to relationships. Lovers can often lose passion if they're unhappy when something is restricting their self-expression. So in the case today, we had what was called a double bind occur, and I'll get into that in a sec. What does it take for someone to be happy? Well, it's different for each person. So it's an important thing to discuss and to define, and important to challenge people who are unhappy or even suicidal. So it's, again, openness and honesty seems to be a pervasive theme here. One nice example, what would it take to make you happy? Well, I look down and I see that both my legs are above ground. And that's a pretty nice and easy way to extract happiness from what might be an unhappy situation. A lot of people will settle for attention instead of receiving love. So these are when they manifest in, depressed behavior. A lot of times it's a call for attention because love is not being received. So we need to engage with warmth to elicit collaboration in order to find an appropriate solution. Just like warmth induces collaboration, empathy induces a meaningful connection. And who doesn't want a meaningful connection? Let's be honest here. The best of intentions can have the worst results. That was my words stolen from the book Wizard's First Rule, and it shows the case of the couple today had that. The husband found himself getting incongruent messages from his wife. So on one hand, she was very worried about her past abusive relationships, so she gave the impression that she wanted very gentle and withdrawn partner. However, it turned out that what attracted her initially to the relationship was his aggression and manliness. So this is what we call a catch-22. Now, of course, Catch-22, the famous novel, was about a fighter pilot who was trying to use mental insanity to get out of flying a mission and probably getting shot down. However, the Army or the Air Force had a clause in their documents that said if you are claiming mental insanity to get out of flying, that is a form of self-preservation, therefore you're sane. So it's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You have to do it no matter what. So in this couple, the catch-22 was she was giving off the messages: if you love me, you have to be gentle. But if you're gentle, I'm not attracted to you. So this just, it manifested in his, defeated body language, clearly frustrated because he was, in a catch-22. He's in a double bind. And they lead to an apologetic demeanor, and that's not very attractive. So what their secret was to access the intensity without compromising the gentleness. So had to smash a chair on stage, and somehow this was very attractive to her. And then they made up. But they did split up in a year. So, but they're still friends. So, I don't know. 50-50. The restrictions in self-expression can lead to paralysis and inattentiveness. So it's very important to be able to express freely these concerns, otherwise they will just fester and become malignant. So we've gone over a few steps to solve a double bind. One, you have to identify what the incongruent messages are. You can't fix it if you can't identify it. So you have to find if we're ever living in or imposing upon someone else a situation where there is no winning, a situation where every outcome leads to disappointment or unhappiness. Have to understand the consequences of the incongruity. In this couple's case, it was, they turned out to be a damning effect on the marriage because there was no way that he could fulfill her needs with the impossible situation she put him in. So we have to take responsibility for allowing it to occur. So we have to be able to see why it is. Maybe we were trying to meet the need for significance or certainty, and we just put up this impossibility. I mean, I think in my own experiences, I said, like, well, I can't solve the world. I can't solve the climate crisis, so I won't do anything. And if I don't do anything, I can't solve the climate crisis. So that kind of felt like an impossibility. So yeah, I have to identify it and take responsibility for it in order to, number 4, recover the sense of self. You can't live in reaction to the double bind. You have to address it and get into an unbounded scenario. We want open brackets on that range, people. Perform ritual of self-recovery. So something symbolic to the contradiction that exists can be done to symbolize moving on and prime the mind for new adventures. And of course, with so many other things, the final step is to stay the course. Without violence, or aggression, anger, or judgment, stick it out. Because it's worth it. It's worth it. Thank you very much.